even more important. So with that being said, I'll conclude my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Albrecht. Ms. Hines?
Yes, I'd like to congratulate Charles and Michael on their new promotions. This is going to be very exciting. I love your energy. Um, we're just going to really do this thing. I was actually honored to be able to go. I'm an alumni of Saginaw Valley, so we had our alumni association. We had a fundraiser, so we raised like $23,000 for scholarships for our kids. And I'm working on something with Saginaw Valley. The president used to be my professor, so I have a really great relationship. I actually met one of the admission advisors. She actually lives in this area. So definitely I want to get you guys together like we did with Eastern and see if we can get some scholarships. I'm actually a top lady of distinction and we have top teams of America. So we are looking for young students. They have scholarship opportunities. It's community service. So I'm really big on making sure that we help kids, from all different backgrounds, to have those opportunities to learn and grow. And then I'm working with some different outside people with skilled trades. Like I'm really working with Dr. Dignan to see like all the reasons. I'm really big at connecting and networking. So a lot of the people that I've met along the way, I'm really trying to put everybody together piece by piece by piece because I'm really 1,000% like excited about this career college readiness. I'm putting my whole heart into it. I met with some state representatives over the weekend. So I gave them the book, showing, hey, this is what we're doing in Lansing. Like, look, you need to help support us, help us get some money. A lot of that stuff, like we were talking about when we had the Wayne Westland language a long time ago, is how they write those laws. You know what I'm saying? So, regardless whoever is there, we got to get them to come and give us some money to help this program grow. So I'm just really like honored to be on the Board of Education. As a parent, I definitely understand how you guys feel as well, with the mask and quarantine, because it happened to me like when school first started. Like there was rumors that these kids had the COVID, but we weren't sure. We didn't know. But then as a parent, I'm like, well, what do I do? Like I just started a new job. Like do I quarantine? You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what direction to go. So we definitely going to work on some different protocols because it's kind of confusing. Like if they're not sick, because we had the antibodies because was exposed to somebody with COVID. We both had our shots, but we had the antibodies. So it's just like that weird. I don't know. It's just really weird, but I do get both sides of the pictures, and I have a compromised immune system myself, so I do understand we have over like 10,500 students, so in 6 different communities, so we still have to look after everybody. Like everybody has the right to feel how they do feel, but as a board member, my job is to keep everybody safe, because at the end of the day, if something happens, they're coming on me like, why didn't you protect my kid, like I said before. So a little air of caution, but it's thousands, like 10,000 kids from 6 different communities, so we got to look at that at the same time. But I got this good team here. I like those different cheerleading, the games, the sports activities. Like the young lady said from Glenn, I definitely appreciate you telling us, how you feel about this. Coming from a high school student, that does mean a lot. And the sense of normalcy. Like I was able to go to John Clinton's homecoming. I was so excited. Like, oh my gosh, I'm at a homecoming game. It's a band. It was just exciting to be back to normal. But we got to keep our numbers down. We got to keep those numbers down. So, good job for the staff. I have Miss Adrian over here, and we have our college readiness advisor over there. So I'm looking forward to working with you guys with curriculum, and then we have the new the baby program that we're going to be using to help the kids and stuff like that. And one thing I want to say too, I had the opportunity to actually do a tour over at the Wayne Westland Community High School. It was amazing. I mean, just like night and day. My son actually goes there. Because, dealing with COVID, social, emotional, depression, like all his friends have severe anxiety. Like, it's like, so one thing he told me, he was like, Mom, he's like, is this some like experimental school? My kid told me about social emotional learning. And then like they have like a Maker Friday where they actually make things and learn, and then they have the time because a lot of times with curriculum, when you have like algebra or math, if you don't get it, what sense does it make passing you through? You need to make sure you get that subject. So they have the extra time to learn. So he went from like grades in to straight A's and B's, just like the other girl said. And he has hope. I noticed my son's personality's been more happier, like the depression's going away. And like with research, I'm like, oh, as a parent, I'm noticing this. So like a lot of times people put like these stigmas on different programs, but the nice thing with Wayne Weston, we have something for everybody. Everybody. So, it's alternative, but, it's working for my son, and if anybody's having those issues, your kid's having some emotional trauma anxiety, stress, maybe that might be an alternative to look into. Because like I said, it's like night and day. So thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. Mr. Buckaloo?
Thank you. At least I'm not going last, and I'm afraid ahead of Kim,
Always.
always. So anyway, I want to thank Ms. Griffin for bringing Lydia and Andrew to us this evening. It's always good to get off to the right start with the pledge led by our students. It's a tradition in our school district. We heard from a number of students today. Miss Victoria, I'm going to say it, Dinau. I hope I pronounced that somewhat close. She spoke, I think, somewhat glowingly of the staff, of the nature of the interaction between the students and staff. What she didn't say, and what she should have said, is what a tribute it is to those students who are taking advantage of the opportunity of Community High. They're getting their grades, they're moving towards graduation. It's a wonderful thing, and if you've never had an opportunity to attend a Community High graduation, a Tinkham graduation, you've missed something special. So I was quite impressed with Victoria. Also, the William D. Ford lady, Avery Giacchina, talked about all of the things that are going on at William D. Ford. I had an opportunity to have a brief conversation with Chef Tony a couple of days ago. He said his culinary arts program is up to 100 students now, and that's tremendous, especially in spite of the fact that we're dealing with the COVID issue. So my thanks to all of the students who showed up, and I'm looking forward to hearing from more students next month. We heard about bond work today. And I think when it's finished, I think you'll be able to see that we've modernized all of our facilities, that they're more attractive than they've ever been before, and that they're better suited to meet the needs of our students than they ever were before. And in conjunction with that, I'm reminded of Dr. Dignan's interview when he was first applying for the position as our superintendent. He talked glowingly about all of the partnerships that he was working with in his previous school district, and he's brought them to us now. Today he mentioned the scholarship possibilities with Eastern Michigan. 85% of our students, if they can get a 3.0, are eligible to take advantage of that scholarship. And there's been some talk about helping them with transportation from our district to the Eastern campus. Whether that happens or not, I don't know, but there's been that talk. 50 scholarships to Lawrence Tech, one of the premier engineering schools in the state, if not in the country, at a value of $80,000 apiece, granted annually. What a tremendous thing to bring to our school district. And the skilled trades gathering that's coming up in the near future. We are making a real commitment to the post-secondary future of all of the students in Wayne Westland. And it's a tribute to Superintendent Dignan, sir, and also to the staff that's helping him put all of that in place. I couldn't be more pleased with the work of our superintendent at this point. On November 6th, the Wayne Westland Foundation, which at one time was a part of the school district but now has been separated out and is now a 501c, a 1c, whatever, organization in its own right, is hosting a fundraising activity. Any funds that we get will go into the pot, and our our teachers and schools can apply through the foundation for a grant. That fundraiser is a pancake breakfast from 9 to noon on November 6th. That's a Saturday, and the tickets are $10 for adults and $8 for students. All you can eat: pancakes, sausage, fruit, beverage, and it's going to be at the Hype Center, which used to be the Wayne Rec, not too far from here. So if you have nothing better to do on Saturday, November the 6th, I encourage you to do that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Buckaloo. Ms. May?
Thank you. So for starters, I'd just like to say I was so happy to see and hear from students this evening. You know, that's why we do what we do. And so it was joyful just to hear and to see our students participate. That's what we miss the most being in a pandemic, is having the opportunity for our students to showcase their learning, to just be a part of everything that we do. So thank you for bringing the students for the pledge and to share what they're doing in their buildings. That piece right there is so significant, to hear from the students what's happening every day within their classrooms, within their schools. The other piece, I'm going to speak just a little bit about what Victoria talked about in terms of having hope. That was so powerful to hear that young lady say that she has hope. I think one of the biggest things that occurred during COVID is that our students lost hope. And so to know that they are in a place where hope is being restored, I think that is huge. And I think that's something that we need to grab onto and hold on to that for the remainder of this school year and the years to come. How are we providing hope for our students? So I'd just like to thank that young lady for that. I also like to welcome Charles and Michael to our district. I am very excited to have them both here and look forward to hearing from them. Next, Dr. Dignan, thank you for the partnerships with the scholarship opportunities for our students. I think that is huge. That is a game. What do you want to say? Like, I'm not that sports person, so I don't know if it's a play game, a game play, whatever it is. You know what I'm trying to say, it's good. It makes a huge difference. And also, I'd like to thank both Wayne Memorial and John Glenn. I had the opportunities to participate in both of their homecoming parades. And again, just seeing the kids out, having fun, doing what is normal for teenagers to do is so nice. My son was a senior last year, so he didn't get to do any of those things because we weren't in school. So, but he's fine. He's kind of a loner. But to see the kids that really enjoy being out like that, that was just really nice. And finally, just to talk a little bit more about the social emotional learning piece, just hoping that what we heard taking place at Community High is also taking place in our other buildings. I'm going to assume that it is, but if it's not, I'd love for us to have some conversation around that. How can we support our students' social emotional learning? And I'm sure that will also help with the behaviors that we're seeing and just how we can support our families and our kids. That piece is huge. So, and that's all of our families and all of our kids, not just singling out some, but everyone, because every child has different needs. Every family has different needs. And so as a community-based district, we just want to make sure that we're doing everything that we can do to support families, understanding that not all families will be receptive, but we have to make sure we're doing our part. And so with that, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. May. Dr. Weaver?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. A couple of things that I just want to share. Again, which has already been said, the wonderful students that came from each of our high schools and talked so openly about what's happening at their place of learning was very encouraging to me. I would also like to personally welcome the gentlemen who were hired tonight, and I don't want you to misunderstand what I'm about to say. I'm glad you're here. However, I do want to say that I would hope that we would take the time, and hope that we do, to hire from within our ranks. We constantly say that our staff is fantastic and effective and very effective, and if we want to keep them, we have to give them a place to bump to at some time. So I just want to share that. So congratulations to the new hires. I'm sorry to lose Jill Simmons to the district. She was a great lady, and she will be missed. I'd like to thank the superintendent for making sure that Dr. Barassi was honored with the naming of the dining area at William D. Ford Tech Center. It's been a long time coming, and I do appreciate the efforts. And I will say to the audience that I appreciate you being here so very much. Whether I agree with you or not, you know, differing opinions is what makes our democracy work. But whether I agree with you or not is not the sum of what we're talking about here. You know, it's been said we don't have to follow this, the governor this, the governor that. The idea is that if we do not follow the Wayne County guidelines, then we forfeit our government immunity. And any parent, God forbid, that would lose a child, would attempt to sue the district, would be able to do so. And so governmental immunity covers us now as we are working together to get through this pandemic. That concludes my comments for tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Weaver. And I'd like to share Dr. Weaver's comments. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'd just like to share that as the president, I don't have any more authority here than any other member of the Board of Education, but I do have the opportunity to speak on a regular basis with the superintendent, who is exceptional at keeping me informed as to the different initiatives that he has going and the thoughts that he has. And excuse me, sir, but everything he says is just so exciting. The things that you saw here tonight, the partnerships with the universities. In fact, even our new human resources director came, he brought them. And it's just exciting, the things that are coming up. We're moving in the right direction, as Ms. Hines said. We've got a great team. I'd like to thank the Board of Education. We had a great conversation earlier tonight about some very important things, the superintendent evaluation tool. We spent $15 million tonight. And doing some exceptional work. But I want to tell you who paid for this, we waited. We went out for bids and they weren't coming back right. And instead of getting excited and just getting it, we stopped. And we waited until they came back right. And that was the right move. And thank you for that, Tony Spizak. I appreciate that. Thank you, Chandra. Earlier tonight, we talked about disciplinary issues, and as Ms. May said, she had previously asked for the board to get together and discuss this issue. I'm perfectly willing to do that and to add to it what Ms. Hines had to say regarding what is it we can do that would be more of a resource for families. As Mr. Albrecht said, in these circumstances, those of us who have the ability to know the detail of them, they haven't come our way at all. All we have to go on is the behavior, which is not acceptable because we have other children in the classroom too, which we also love and care about, and we don't want them victimized. And we don't want our teachers victimized. And though we're very sorry that these children have this circumstance, and sometimes it's not of their doing at all, we can't allow other children and teachers to be victimized in the meantime. People will not be drawn to our school district if that's what's going on in the classroom. We must put a stop to it. And after the first of the year, we will have that study session. We'll talk about this in detail. And from my perspective, we're going to talk about how we can eliminate this kind of behavior in our schools. A conversation recently with the superintendent involved a fight that had occurred at John Glenn, and by his own admission, these students are way too big to be swinging on each other. They're full-grown people, and they can hurt one another. And what's more is they can scare all the other classmates. And folks, I'm not gonna have it. We can't have a school district where people feel fear in the classroom. It has to end. I'm gonna end with the greatest thing that happened tonight, which is all of the students that came up and talked tonight. Yes, they have to wear masks, and they went through COVID for 2 years, and look at them. Look at the resilience of these young people. And I was thinking to myself, could I get up in front of the Board of Education in the Trenton Public School District when I was a 10th grader? No. I can't shut up now, but I don't know if I could get up there and talk then. Look at how well they do. They're just so impressive. I just love this place, honestly. With that, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Mr.
Support.
Albrecht, support by Ms. Hines. Thank you, Ms. Hines. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Thank you, everyone. We're